He finally spoke. Revolving light. Ryan Seacrest breaks his silence over his viral, odd behavior, clips. Is the pressure of taking over Wheel of Fortune getting to him? The new host addresses the health scares and exhaustion rumors that have been buzzing on social media. Click now to hear his full, shocking explanation. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. The wheel of celebrity gossip never stops spinning, and few figures keep it moving faster than Ryan Seacrest. As he prepares to step into the massive, glittering shoes of Pat Sajak as the new host of the iconic American institution, Wheel of Fortune, every movement, every utterance, and every seemingly innocuous social media post is being scrutinized under a microscope usually reserved for presidential candidates. The pressure on Seacrest is immense, and it's against this backdrop of fever-pitch anticipation and unrelenting public focus that a wave of social media commentary emerged, centered on his perceived, odd behavior. The observations, ranging from minor tics noticed during public appearances to shifts in his broadcasting style, grew loud enough to create a distinct buzz, forcing the consummate professional to do the one thing he rarely has to: break silence and address the digital noise head-on. This comprehensive analysis dives into the public's perception of Seacrest's recent actions, the intense pressure surrounding his new role, and the calculated risk he took by engaging with the chatter, ultimately dissecting whether his odd behavior is a genuine sign of stress or merely the magnification of subtle changes by an audience desperate for drama. Ryan Seacrest is, by design, the Teflon man of entertainment. He is ubiquitous, professional, and almost impossibly polished, moving seamlessly from the American Idol stage to the radio booth to the New Year's Eve countdown. His brand is built on reliability, energetic enthusiasm, and an immaculate, unchanging presentation. This consistency is precisely why any deviation, however slight, registers as a shock to the system for his audience. The recent wave of odd behavior claims began, as many modern controversies do, on TikTok and X, formerly Twitter. Fans and casual viewers started compiling video clips highlighting specific mannerisms they found unusual. Some pointed to what they perceived as strained smiles during live interviews, a slight hitch in his speech cadence during his radio show, or even a noticeable increase in blinking frequency. Individually, these are negligible details. Collectively, amplified by the echo chamber of social media, they created a phantom narrative that something was fundamentally off with the seemingly flawless host. The most common armchair diagnoses posited that Seacrest was either severely exhausted, a reasonable assumption given his punishing schedule, or, more dramatically, struggling to cope with the stress of inheriting the Wheel of Fortune mantle from Pat Sajak, a host whose nearly 4-decade run established a precedent of effortless geniality that is nearly impossible to follow. The move to Wheel of Fortune is, arguably, the most significant career pivot of Seacrest's life, placing him squarely in the realm of legacy television that requires sustained, unflashy consistency. Pat Sajak and Vanna White are symbols of comfort, tradition, and nostalgia, qualities that contrast sharply with Seacrest's typical high-energy, constantly trending, celebrity-focused persona. Taking over this role means transitioning from the kinetic energy of reality competition to the slow, steady rhythm of the game show format, a change that requires a profound shift in on-screen energy. The public's scrutiny of his odd behavior is inextricably linked to this transition. Viewers are implicitly testing him, looking for any flaw, any crack in the armor, that might suggest he is not the right fit for the generational contract that Wheel of Fortune represents. The whispers of exhaustion and stress became shorthand for the audience's subconscious anxiety. Is Seacrest trying too hard? Is he losing the effortless grace that made Sajak so beloved? The odd behavior became a projected fear of change, a way for the audience to articulate the discomfort with a television fixture being altered by a new face. For weeks, Seacrest and his team maintained the standard celebrity protocol: silence. The narrative was left to fester, gaining traction through repetitive clips and sensationalist headlines. However, the consistent, escalating nature of the commentary clearly reached a critical mass. The decision to break silence was a strategic move, showcasing Seacrest's characteristic blend of honesty and media savviness. He chose to address the rumors not with a formal press statement, which would have lent the accusations undue formality, but in the casual, intimate setting of his own radio show, On Air with Ryan Seacrest. This choice allowed him to control the narrative, framing the discussion as a light-hearted response to fan concern rather than a defense against serious accusation. He reportedly laughed off the most extreme speculation, acknowledging that the intense scrutiny was part of the job, especially during a high-profile transition. His explanation, while delivered with his usual charm, was telling. Seacrest attributed some of the noticeable shifts in his energy and demeanor to a genuine, if brief, restructuring of his overwhelming schedule. He hinted that he was consciously trying to scale back some of his commitments to focus on the Wheel of Fortune prep, a process that involved intense study of the show's mechanics and cultural history. The simple act of reducing his professional juggling act, he implied, led to minor, temporary shifts in his broadcasting rhythms that the public immediately seized upon. More significantly, he subtly addressed the emotional toll, admitting that the pressure of the Wheel of Fortune role is real, and that he is putting immense pressure on himself to honor the legacy while making the show his own. This touch of vulnerability, a rarity for Seacrest, served as an immediate deflector shield. By acknowledging the stress, he validated the audience's observations while providing a benign, understandable explanation for the odd behavior. The outcome of Seacrest breaking his silence is a fascinating case study in modern celebrity crisis management. By engaging directly, he took the power away from the anonymous, sensationalist corners of the internet. The conversation immediately shifted from, "What's wrong with Ryan?" to, "Ryan is working hard and needs a break," transforming a potentially damaging narrative into a story of dedication and professionalism. For the entertainment channel audience, this resolution provides closure while reinforcing Seacrest's core brand. He's a dedicated workhorse, and his only true flaw is perhaps working too hard. His brief moment of vulnerability humanized him, subtly reassuring the Wheel of Fortune audience that he understands the gravity of the role and is taking the transition seriously. Ultimately, the odd behavior was less about a physical or mental breakdown and more a reflection of the public's hyper-focus on a star navigating a pivotal career challenge, a challenge that Seacrest appears to be meeting, not by trying to ignore the noise, but by momentarily stepping into it, controlling the volume, and then politely turning it down as he prepares to take his place at the center of the big, spinning wheel. Would you like me to analyze how this breaking silence moment has affected his social media engagement and Wheel of Fortune pre-show buzz? Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our Talent Zone Updates YouTube channel for more update news.